Hi Year 10. By now you would have finished up to page 4 of your booklet and you will have chosen and checked your answers using the blue sheets that your teacher has got. Let's have a go if you finish that a little bit more. Now, experimental probability means that you're actually doing the experiment and you're reporting on what you found, what your results were. The probability, we generally don't use it that way. Normally use it to try and predict what's going to happen. And so we call that theoretical probability. On your next page, page 5, you're going to see that we've got a bit of a discussion here. And let's have a look at how it differs. A bag contains one red stone, one blue stone, and one green stone. If you choose a stone without looking, what are the chances you'll choose a red stone? Now the probability is going to be 1 out of 3, because you've got 3 different stones, only one of them is red. If there was 2 red stones instead of a blue stone, you'd have a probability of 2 out of 3, or 2/3. 2 red stones out of the 3 possible chances. And that's all this is. This is like putting into a little formula the words that we've just been using. So the probability of something happening, before we can even test it, is the number of ways it can occur over how many ways there possibly are. And we've looked at our total number of outcomes. That's the same with our sample space. Alrighty, so let's have a look. Single die is rolled. Answer the following questions. How many possible outcomes are there? Alright, so we're rolling a dice and you've got to have 6 outcomes. And this one spells out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6. What's the probability that a 4 is rolled? Now have a look at this, the way they've written it. You do P to say it's a probability sum, and then the outcome that you're looking for, we put in brackets. So the probability of a 4 is going to be the number of ways to roll a 4 over total number of outcomes. Okay, dice has only got 1 4. It's going to be 1 over 6. Or if you put that into your calculator and simplify it, turn it into a decimal, it's 0.16, and that little dot means repeating, so 0.166666. We often use fractions because they just mean a little bit more than the decimals do. What is the probability that an even number is rolled? Well, think about it. Number of even rolls, so even numbers on a dice are 2, 4, and 6. That's 3 different types of outcomes over the total number of outcomes, which is 6. So 3 over 6, we can simplify that to a half. What is the probability the number greater than 2 is rolled? Alright, so can you see again, we've got probability, and then what we're looking for in the brackets, greater than 2. So that means we're looking for the numbers 3, 4, 5, and 6. How many numbers is that altogether? 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 4 numbers. So 4 numbers out of the possible 6, or 2 out of 3. The rest of this goes through some different other ways that we can look at it. So what is the frequency of faulty watches? A watchmaker selects 100 of his watches at random, notices 6 of them are faulty. Alright, so you've got a 6 out of 100 chance of having a faulty watch. If you made 1,500 watches in total, how many would he expect are faulty? Alright, well he's got 6 out of 100, so you'd expect that out of 15,000, how are we going to do that? Alrighty, so all you need to do is take the 15,000, multiply it by 6 over 100, and you'll end up, because this is the fraction of faulty watches, so 6/100ths of 15,000 is going to be 90 faulty watches. So we found our fraction, 6 over 100, so you know that if you've got 1,500 watches, it'll be 6/100ths of that total number is 90. If you had 2,000 watches, you do 2,000 times 6 over 100, and we find out what that is. You notice also, probability is always between 0 and 1. 0 meaning there's no way it's going to happen. 1 meaning it's definitely going to happen. So we know, we call it this way. The probability, start with a thing in the middle, can be less than or equal 0, greater than or equal to 0, less than or equal to 1. Complementary probability means that it's an outcome that doesn't occur. Now I know that complement means, alright, if you give me a compliment, you could say, Miss, you are the most fantastic maths teacher ever. That's a beautiful compliment, but it's not my probability compliment. And it's also true, so we won't get caught up on that. Okay, notation X, and that's called a tilde, means the complement of X. So it means the probability that that will not occur. Total probabilities of outcomes must add up to 1. So the probability of something occurring and not occurring has to equal 1. So let's say we're tossing a coin, probability of a head plus the probability of not tossing a head. So tossing a head is 1. Not tossing a head means you're tossing a tail. That's another is a half. That's another half. Half plus a half equals 1. Remember, replay any of this if it's not making any sense. And so what they're saying is that to work out the probability of something not happening, you just do 1 minus the probability of it happening. So what's the probability of not rolling a 6? Okay, so you work out the probability of rolling a 6, which is 1 out of 6 on a dice. Probability of not rolling it is going to be 1 minus 1 over 6, which is 5 out of 6. So find the probability, oh, here we go. 4 blue stones, 3 green stones, 5 red stones again. Answer these questions if one stone is drawn at random. So the probability that the stone will not be blue is going to be the 1 minus the probability it's going to be blue. It's much easier organising that than having to work out these two. So not blue is 1 minus 4 over, there's 12 stones altogether, so 1 minus 4 over 12, which is going to be 6, what is it? 8 over 12, which is the same as 2 over 3. And that is going to be your probability. So we go through looking at the stone will not be red, stone will not be green. Same thing. Okay guys, have a go. That's a lot of information, but have a go at looking at these. You've done this in Year 7, Year 8 and Year 9 already. So hopefully we're just trying to recognise some information that you've forgotten. Once you've done these, or as you're going, check that your answers are okay. Alright? I'm going to go into mutually exclusive events next. Hopefully I'll be back teaching you then. Thanks, Year 10.